Welcome back. Donald Trump is firing his tweets at a new target. A popular Democratic senator who said Trump has built his campaign on sexism, racism and xenophobia. We go now to Brian Stelter, who joins us from New York. Brian, Trump, of course, has come under fire many times for what he said about women. Now he's in this Twitter war with Elizabeth Warren, and he's not backing down.
Yes, Warren, a beloved Democratic senator, a favorite of people on the left in the United States. And what makes it so interesting is I think we're seeing the Democrats figuring out in real time how to respond to Trump now that he's a presumptive GOP nominee. On Tuesday night, Warren posted a series of tweets and a Facebook post where she harshly criticized Trump, calling him xenophobic and many other things. And that post on Facebook got viewed more than 45 million times. So it picked up last night, and we can show some of the tweets. Basically what happened here is that Trump responded to Warren, calling her out on Twitter, saying the following: "I hope Hillary Clinton chooses goofy Elizabeth Warren as her running mate. I will defeat them both." Then Warren responded within an hour and a half. And what we see here is a really effective use of Twitter, I think. She says, "Goofy? For a guy with the best words, that's a pretty lame nickname." She called it weak, and then she continued, "Trump is a bully who has a single play in his playbook: offensive lies at anyone who calls him out." Now, Trump responded later in the evening. He wrote, "Goofy Elizabeth Warren is weak and ineffective. She does nothing. She's all talk, no action. Maybe it's her Native American name." That's a reference to this idea that she believes she had a Cherokee heritage, and then that did not, there was not evidence of that that's been found. So it was a controversy, particularly among conservatives who like to criticize Elizabeth Warren. But what we saw here in this back and forth is, maybe for better or worse, a preview of the general election campaign, with Elizabeth Warren calling him a bully and perhaps providing a playbook to other Democrats, including Hillary Clinton, about how to challenge him. Warren has not endorsed Clinton or Bernie Sanders. So she's this rare individual who's in the middle, who's, well, at least in terms of not endorsing, who's not chosen a side. And by attacking Trump on Twitter this way, she's trying to bring the party together in order to defeat him in the fall.
Right. And Trump seems to act the same on Twitter as he does when he's speaking at rallies, off the cuff and very much unfiltered.
Right.
There was a Trump just a few days ago, I just wanted to bring up, where he was eating from a taco bowl, claiming, "I love Hispanics." And it's no surprise he's also being criticized for that tweet.
The chairman of the RNC the next day said Trump's trying to reach out. But yes, this is a classic example of a post, a social media post by Trump that might have amused or encouraged his supporters, but then was widely denounced as well by critics of the candidate. It is really curious to see whether he changes his tone or not at all in the next 6 months. And tweets like this suggest that he will not. I think what we're seeing with someone like Elizabeth Warren responding to Trump is an attempt to figure out what the right way is to engage him, because Trump has used Twitter and Facebook in new and novel ways, whether it's a tweet about a taco bowl or it's insults of his rivals. He is using this kind of real-time communication tool in a way we haven't seen other presidential candidates in the U.S. do before. So what we're seeing from Clinton, from Sanders, from Warren, who is sort of on the fence between the Democrats, is an attempt to figure out how best to take him on using these new tools. Is there a way to out-Trump Trump on Twitter?
This could be dangerous territory going forward if he gets into Twitter wars with other world leaders.
Well, that's very interesting, isn't it? You know, to think about whether he uses these tools, I was about to say weapons, they're tools in international conflicts, for example. We haven't seen that yet. And I think what we've heard from President Obama is a suggestion that that would be very, very damaging. President Obama yesterday at a press conference commented on Trump in a forceful way, said this is a serious exercise picking a president. It is not entertainment. It is not reality TV. But one thing Trump has done very effectively on Twitter and Facebook is make the election entertaining by being insulting, by being provocative, and by rallying his supporters with him online. I think it was notable that the president came out and said directly to the media, we must focus on the substance of what Trump says he believes. We must talk about his changing positions over time and make sure the American people are aware of that as well.
It certainly is keeping this campaign very much, very entertaining. Brian Stelter, great to have you with us as always. Thank you very much. Senator Lindsey Graham, who ran against Trump, is the latest Republican skipping the nominating convention.
I just don't believe Donald Trump is a reliable conservative Republican. Good luck with Paul Ryan trying to find a conservative agenda with this guy. And I don't think he has the temperament or judgment to be commander-in-chief. A lot of my colleagues will vote for him enthusiastically. Some will hold their nose. I just can't go there with Donald.
Lindsey Graham there. US Democrats are still sketching out what their presidential ticket could look like, and it could be a shocker. Bernie Sanders says he would be open to meeting with Hillary Clinton's team about running as her vice president if it came to that. Here's what Sanders told CNN's Wolf Blitzer.
Well, right now we are focused in the next 5 weeks of winning the Democratic nomination. If that does not happen, we're going to fight as hard as we can on the floor of the Democratic Convention to make sure that we have a progressive platform that the American people will support. And then after that, certainly Secretary Clinton and I can sit down and talk and see where we go from there.